by Stock Market Strategies. With us today, returning, is CEO Martin Kepman of Manganese X Energy Corp. Martin, how you doing?
Hey, Albert, nice to be back again. And nice to be back to tell again an update on our story at Stock Market Strategies. You know, I love the way you interview because it's really casual and it gives the investors a better insight on when we're going. So go ahead and let's get the show on the road.
I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Martin. And well, we're here today because of a person by the name of Gordon Jang that's now a newest member on the team. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
You know, it's a very interesting story. Before I tell you a little bit of history about Gordon, who has 25 years of mining experience and is an industry leader, I was in Vancouver about 3 weeks ago, and I had lunch with Gordon and a couple of his associates. And we were just talking about general mining situations and how Manganese X has really become an influential player in high purity manganese sulfate right now. And we're getting a lot more recognition than before. And I sat there for an hour. I think it was called Cactus Jack in Vancouver.
Oh, I like that name.
And we sat there. The meeting went from 1 hour to a quick casual conversation to maybe 3 or 4 hours. And I found him very experienced and helpful in management and business strategies, okay, and future guidances. And we talked, we left, and then we had another conversation, and we both decided that he would be extremely helpful to our company in strategies and businesses. He's got a CPA. He agreed to come on our advisory board, and I was very surprised and very happy to have him. And our directors are very excited to have him because he's going to give us extra insights on situations and how we're progressing with high purity manganese sulfate, you know, and we are getting some calls already before PA with interested parties, and we're going to use his guidance to help us because we want to make sure that, you know, wherever we go or whatever we do, we want to really enhance shareholder value. That's the whole key, because there's been a lot of small and medium and large shareholders that's been with us since 2016, 2017. And for us as a company, we want to make sure that they're going to get rewarded because we worked like more than 6 years on the project, and we're starting to very happily get some recognition, you know. And the reason why I was very impressed with Gordon is because he had mid-management to senior management mining experience with such renowned companies as Luton, Hudbay, and Pan Am Silver. So taking all his experience, we're going to use him as a great advisor and guide our ship further.
Okay, that sounds really interesting. And, you know, he brings with himself like a great background of people, something about Hub. Is that possible? That
Hudbay,
that's it.
Yeah, these guys are pretty prominent in the mining business, in the Canadian mining business. So we're going to try to take some of his experience and knowledge, you know, and he's also helping us, guiding us with our PEA, which is nearly completed to, you know, try to, you know, enhance the shareholder value and get the PEA properly with wood. So it's working really, really well. We're very happy to have him.
Well, that's great. And, you know, just to sway a little bit off the topic of Gordon himself, because he's definitely a great asset to have on the company, especially on the advisory board. And when I, you know, just look at Manganese overall, I recently saw a video with Mr. Andrew Zemek. It was a Kitco interview. I will be adding a link up here eventually so that all of the people, the investors, can actually click on it so that they can see that video I'm talking about. And for all the investors out there, I advise you to click on that link above so that way you understand where Manganese is going. Now, Martin, asking you from this interview with Andrew Zemek, you know, he's talking about manganese sulfate, because what people have to understand is that there's the manganese ore and the manganese sulfate. The ore is mostly for steel.
High purity, high purity. And let me interrupt
and
you.
it has, that's correct. It
I
has to
would
be.
say, I would say he's one of the foremost world experts in high purity manganese sulfate, which is a precursor to the EV cathode that is being used in all the EV products, and it is manganese, high purity manganese. It has to be very EV compliant with low contaminants, and it's very, very important. And I just want to point out that he is, I would say I've learned a lot from this gentleman from all his interviews, and he's one of the foremost world experts now on EV batteries and manganese sulfate, high purity.
Yeah, because he was saying that China really has the hold on manganese sulfate, and that on the western part of the world, I mean, like the percentages, they just don't make any sense. I mean, China's doing it all, almost, anyways. So, like in North America, and in there's not many manganese. Because you're really gonna be one of the most needed minerals for the battery market, especially that it's increasing around. And that video really says a lot.
Well, first of all, just to reiterate to your viewers, 90% of all this high purity manganese sulfate monohydrate, or MnSO4, which is a precursor to the cathode, 90% of all the production is coming out from China. There's basically one other company really producing this in the world right now, from what we hear. And there's going to be definitely, from what Mr. Zemek has been talking about, a shortage in this high purity manganese sulfate. And it's going to start very shortly, very soon, in next year.
Yeah.
And I think we're so well positioned to take advantage of this market position. I think our technology is like a game changer, and we're going to prove to the market what we're going to do and how we're going to produce this high purity manganese, especially in North America, to the supply chain, because there's going to be 13 gigafactories opening by 2025 in North America.
Yeah.
And they're going to need the supply. And I just want to mention one more thing. It's a very interesting situation for your viewers, that to purchase this high purity manganese sulfate monohydrate, we'll just call it high purity from now on, they're purchasing it from China. And there's a lot of companies that want to really follow this ESG, the environmental, social governance requirements. They will be favoring a company that can produce all this and be green. And we're definitely there. And there's possibilities that they would even want to pay a premium for this. So
yes,
we have a lot of positive, really good things going on with our company. We're very excited. And I just want to say one more thing.
yes,
That we still, our mission statement, and we're following it through, is to be the first company in the United States to commercialize manganese and produce a high purity end product for the EV battery supply chain leader there.
Well, that's very exciting, very exciting. And I only have one last question for you, and because we're waiting for that PEA, of course, and we're gonna have a great interview. But my last question is this: President Biden just recently announced these minerals that you are producing, these critical minerals. He's put them at another level recently. Do you have any takes on that?
That's the U.S. Defense Production Act. It's very interesting. There's 5 key minerals now. I hope I can remember them: lithium, graphite, cobalt, manganese, and nickel.
Amazing.
And we're part of that chain. Okay. And believe it or not, like, there's very few companies right now that can offer this type of product to the North American market. And we're really advancing our project very quickly, and we're really getting a lot of very positive economic factors, and we're ready to become a very soon, supply chain supplier to President Biden's U.S. Defense Production Act. And again, they want to help the North American mining companies big time, And again, we're strategically located in Woodstock, near Woodstock, New Brunswick, 12 kilometers away from Holston, Maine, and we got all the shipping channels and all the infrastructure, which is great.
Yes.
And that's going to help us and give us a big opportunity to get involved.
You know what? Just exciting times ahead, Martin. Just exciting times ahead. Well, with that, I guess that we'll be waiting for the PA for our follow-up interview. Is there any last things that you'd like to say? I don't have any more questions for you right now. Look, everything is great. We have the other interview where we basically know so much about the company. Now, you're updating us on Mr. Guanjang and, of course, what Biden said, your ESG, the whole 9 yards. And Andrew Zemek, of course, which we have the link up here. Very important for investors to see. Do you have anything else that you would like to add before we go?
Yes, first of all, big thanks, Albert, to Stock Market Strategies for having me again on the interview. I find it very casual and really exciting to be with you so we can tell our story. It's very important. We are trying to advance the project and the company on a daily basis. We're doing that. Our whole team, and it's just not a one-man show, are working extremely hard right now with Wood and Cometco and all the group to finish this PEA. And only in my opinion, there's major opportunities coming up for our company. We're starting to get some attention, which I'm very pleased about, finally recognized after 6 years.
Amazing.
And we're going to continue working hard and show North America and the world who we are and what we're doing. So thanks, Albert.
Hey, no problem. You know what? The more that people find out about Manganese X Energy Corp, I don't think that this stock is staying at the price it's at. This is a good entry point right now. That's for sure. People should take advantage because it's too exciting to just pass by. You know what, Martin? Thank you so much from Between Plays Stock Market Strategies. Can't wait to see you after the PA. CEO of Manganese X Energy Corporation, Martin Kepman. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you.
Hello to everyone out there. Just taking 2 seconds of your time and asking you to hit the subscribe and the like button. I'd like to also direct you to betweenplays.com, www.betweenplays.com, where we put up many different articles. We have 3 different writers at the moment, and we're trying to up the authors. And go to our Twitter account for like really quick information at betweenplays1, and we'll be able to get people to pre-market information and whatever comes along that is important to macroeconomics, microeconomics. As we say here, our motto: research, prepare, plan, execute. Always do your due diligence. And stay strong, everybody. Stay strong. Cautionary statements regarding forward-looking information and other company information. This news release includes forward-looking information and forward-looking statements, collectively forward-looking information, with respect to the company within the meaning of Canadian securities laws. Forward-looking information is typically identified by words such as believe, expect, anticipate, intend, estimate, postulate, and similar expressions, or are those which by their nature refer to future events. This information represents predictions, and actual events or results may differ materially. Forward-looking information may relate to the company's future outlook and anticipated events, and may include statements regarding the financial results, future financial position, expected growth of cash flows, business strategy, budgets, projected costs, projected capital expenditures, taxes, plans, objective industry trends, and growth opportunities of the company and the projects in which it holds royalty interests. While management considers these assumptions to be reasonable based on information available, they may prove to be incorrect. Forward-looking statements involve known and unknown risks, uncertainties, and other factors, which may cause the actual results, performance, or achievements of the company or these projects to be materially different from any future results, performance, or achievements expressed or implied by the forward-looking statements. These risks, uncertainties, and other factors include, but are not limited to risks associated with general economic conditions, adverse industry events, marketing costs, loss of markets, future legislation and regulatory developments involving the renewable energy industry, inability to access sufficient capital from internal and external sources, and or inability to access sufficient capital on favorable terms, the mining industry generally, the COVID-19 pandemic, recent market volatility, income tax and regulatory matters, the ability of the company or the owners of these projects to implement their business strategies, including expansion plans, competition, currency, and interest rate fluctuations, and the other risks. The reader is referred to the company's most recent filings on SEDAR, as well as other information filed with the OTC over-the-counter markets for a more complete discussion of all applicable risk factors and their potential effects, copies of which may be accessed through the company's profile page at www.sedar.com and at otcmarkets.com.